So here's my 2011 DragonCon review. Yes, it was my first DragonCon ever. The traffic going into Atlanta was fine. We got there around Thursday afternoon, about 4 p.m. I didn't want to deal with Atlanta rush hour traffic, having almost grown up in Atlanta, so I knew about that. The Marriott Marquise was a really fast check-in. We were just able to pull the car up. The valets got us out and packed onto a cart and took us to the check-in. There were, people directing a check-in in there, so we got to our room really quickly. The room was fine. There were absolutely no problems. That whole aspect was great. After that, we went and stood in line for about an hour and 20 minutes to get our full-on pre-reg, which I've heard that there are people who have stood in line for 4 hours for pre-registration before, so I was pretty happy about it. Thursday night was just basically a big party. I cosplayed as Karen Murphy from the Dresden Files, and my boyfriend went as Harry Dresden. We mainly hung out in the atrium at the Marriott, which is where there's a few bars and most people are hanging out the night before. Friday, we woke up a little bit late and got started by going and exploring the entire, all the hotels. We went and explored the Hilton, the Sheraton, and the Hyatt, just to see what was going on. When the dealer rooms opened, we went and visited all of those, especially the exhibition ones that are on the top, because they had some really awesome leather goods. And those places are really, really dangerous, because I did not know there would be such fantastic dealers and vendors there to waste my money on. I walked around as my Daenerys Targaryen Blood Rider outfit on Friday. That's what I mainly cosplayed as. But I didn't really start cosplaying until later in the afternoon, just because it really, really hurts to wear a wig for more than 20 hours. I have discovered this. And when you're drinking copious amounts of alcohol and not really eating and walking and standing the whole time, and you're taking blood thinners for a blood clot that happened when you had an injury, you start to get a little bit more exhausted than I had originally anticipated for this entire event. We tried to go to a couple of panels on Friday, but now that I think about it, it's really, really hazy, and I can't remember what went on. So yeah, so Saturday, Saturday we woke up late again because we were sleeping in and totally missed the parade. I feel really bad because I wanted to actually see that. I've never actually been to a con where you were able to walk off the con campus, if you will, and go to a plethora amount of restaurants and bars and stuff. So that was an amazing aspect, I thought, of the configuration of DragonCon, the fact that it is downtown and that within a block you can go to so many different places and you don't have to stay confined to hotel food or ordering pizza or something like that. Able to get into the huge Battlestar Galactica panel on Saturday afternoon. It was so amazing to see how much this cast really enjoyed the project and really enjoyed interacting with each other, and they're actually really funny. But we went to the Game of Thrones panel afterwards, had some fun talking about that, which unfortunately there were no Game of Thrones people there to actually talk about this. It was just other nerds. So we just kind of sat in a nerd circle wanking off about the Game of Thrones TV show. And then we went to the Game of Thrones photo shoot after that. And I'd never done a professional one in cosplay before, so I'm really excited to see how those turn out and add those to my cosplay portfolio. Saturday night we ended up going and seeing some band. I don't remember their name, and then there was lots and lots of drinking. We ended up, my boyfriend and I got pretty drunk, and we went to the last party on Alderaan, which was basically a dance rave that was being hosted by the 501st. And it was the non-private, invited, exclusive party, but it was so much fun. Everyone was just having a lot of time. We were dancing to geeky songs. The lights were out, thank God, because that's the only way I like to dance. And, they were just, it was just such a safe environment, and so we had a lot of fun dancing our asses off and getting sweaty and drinking. Woo! Sunday, we woke up even later, and because my knee is still hurting from my torn ACL, and I still haven't had the surgery, so we decided to go to the pool and hang out and kind of refresh and rejuvenate ourselves to get ready to do this for another day. So we spent about an hour at the pool, which was amazing because no one was there. Apparently geeks don't like to swim in the morning, whatever. So we did that, and then we went to the food court again, which is always hell to try and find a table at. I don't understand it. And then Sunday, my boyfriend's really into the Wheel of Time series, which I've only read the first couple of books of, but we went over there to try and check out the costumes, and sadly there really weren't any people there for the Wheel of Time. You guys have like the smallest showing of anything there, and that's pretty sad, because Wheel of Time's pretty geeky. Since since there weren't that many costumes, and we didn't decide to stick around for the entire panel, so we went and tried to find the autograph table because I wanted to get a few autographs for my friends, which took a little while to figure out. A lot of people at the information booths at Dragon Con, the volunteers, don't know where things are. So when you ask them, hey, where are people doing autographs? They're kind of like, duh, which really surprised me. I would think that they would know that piece of information, if any. But eventually, my boyfriend and I wandered around, and we got to the Hilton and found out where everything was. And I nearly peed my pants when I saw all the Battlestar Galactica people lined up next to each other, except for Michael Hogan, and then, all the Star Trek Next Generation people right next to them, and then you have all the British sci-fi media people, and then you kept going around. There's Elvira, and then there's kids from The Walking Dead, and then there's True Blood people. I mean, it was just information overload, and I really just wanted to take pictures from afar, but I know that's frowned upon, so I didn't do that. And I was going to get an autograph from Aaron Douglas until I saw Edward James Olmos, and I was like, fuck this, I'm sorry Aaron Douglas, I really like you, but if I'm going to splurge on anything right now, it's going to be for Edward James Olmos. So I go to him, and the person who was in front of me in line quickly walks away, so I didn't know what to say, and eventually I just stood there and was like, I don't know what to say. I am completely speechless. I thought I would have something to say. I'm sorry. I'm a retard. And Edward James Olmos, being the smoothie that he is, looks at me and he goes, I've been waiting 64 years in my life for this moment to meet you. Went on about this whole Casanova thing. And so I was looking at the pictures, and I said, I've got to have a picture of you and Michael, because you were two of my favorite characters on the show. And he goes, oh, here's one of us standing together. I was like, no, I want this one. And it happens to be a picture of them yelling at each other, so I was like, no, I want this one, I want this one. I like how dynamic you guys are. And so he asked me my name and blah, 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 so he starts writing it down. And I'm like, okay, I've got to ask this question, Scotch whiskey or bourbon? He goes, well, I'm a tequila fan, but Michael's a Scotch fan. And I was like, I love tequila! My blood is completely comprised of tequila right now. What kind? Gold or silver? He's like, silver. I was like, yeah, me too! Oh my god, I don't know what else to talk to you about. I didn't think I'd be this inarticulate in front of a somewhat celebrity. Anyway, so he finishes signing my autograph, and I'm like, oh, thank you, sir, thank you so much, I really appreciate it, I really appreciate all your works, blah, blah, blah. And he takes my handshake, he shook my hand very firmly, and he pulls me in, and he kisses me on the cheek, and then he says in my ear, I love you. Anyway, here is my awesome autograph. See right in there, it says, to Allison, all my love to you. So say we all. Edward James Olmos, Admiral Adama, 9411. Got ready for the Firefly panel, or the Browncoats Redemption Wrap Party. So we got dressed in our Firefly costumes. I went as Inara Sarah. My boyfriend went as Jane Cobb. And we went and sat in line and met up with our other friends. Awesome Whedonites United people from Nashville, Tennessee. The Browncoats Redemption Party was okay fun. At least there was a table to sit around at. We met a couple more people. We had a few drinks. We danced a little bit. I did the Thriller dance with some girl who knew it all. It was awesome. And that lasted a few hours, and then we went and met up with some other friends who were having a room party. Decided to go out. And we drank and drank and drank, and we raved. waved and drank, and then we went to another room party, and those occupants got really pissed off at us, so we got kicked out, and we left and drank some more. And it was really fun because I made new con friends, especially with the guys who we sang in the elevator. Mars, Bringer of Doom from Holst, and it was one of the funniest things. So we just danced with all of them, took a whole bunch of pictures, went around, you know, inciting riots with other people. It was a lot of fun. I'm really happy I got to know some more people that are like-minded and similar in age. Oh, and then Monday is when we were checking out, and I definitely was feeling tired and a little bit worn down because of my blood thinners. They really sucked the energy out of me anyway. So we just loaded up the car and left. I didn't go to any panels on Monday, and yeah, I know it sucks, but overall, I think Dragon Con might be a little bit long, and it becomes super expensive. It's one of those things that I don't know if I can do again next year because the expenditures just goes on and on and on, from the hotel to the valet parking to the transportation of getting there to the food, the liquor that you bring, the liquor that you purchase there, the food that you bring, the money that you pay for autographs, the money that you pay at the dealers, and then the costuming, which ended up being a lot more than I expected because there were a lot of failures and experimentation. So I don't know if I can do it again next year without being able to really reduce the amount of costs. I can't say anything bad about the con itself, except that there are people who are really retarded about walking around, and they think, oh, okay, this is the only hallway to this point. Maybe I should stand right here and block everybody else in the way, and then turn around and be like, and they weren't even a zombie. So that wasn't cool. Oh yeah, but we watched a lot of panels on the Dragon Con TV, which was really awesome to be able to see like the Will Shatner and the Stan Lee panels without having to go spend 5 hours in line. But Dragon Con TV, my beef with it was that the audio was always a different level depending on what room it was in, and it would be really, 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 really quiet for one panel, so you turn it up to the highest volume that your TV could go, and then the next Dragon Con commercial would be so much louder than the video, and so it would blast your ear off. And that really bothered me. But the way the programming went, the way the registration was, the badges on the lanyard, they were kind of huge. I really didn't have any complaints about it. And in terms of the operative aspect of the con itself, the guests were good. Good quality guests, good quality dealers, good spaces, amount of space. So am I glad that I went? Yes, of course. I think this is something that everyone should experience at least once in their geeky lifetime. Am I going next year? I don't know. If I earn a bunch of extra money, sure. If I don't, I probably can't. And I can't remember anything else to say, so I'm going to leave the rest with some Dragon Con pictures. Here you go.